You
This is
always yell
quality
at us for,
content
like,
that we're.
wasting content before.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that all the time. That's all I do. Like, I waste all this stuff here with you guys, and then like I go on the show and I'm like pee pee poo poo fart dick.
And it's beautiful.
British every time. You know who's at fault here? Once again, it's the British.
It is the British. Fuck them. We're gonna get to the Brits will not go unpunished tonight for being British. For the war
Thank
crime of
God.
being British, they will get theirs. But first,
They act so innocent and cute.
yeah, they act
But
all
we know
cute
what
with it.
they
Pip
are.
pip cheerio, governor. What's the word, Jemmy Dodger? Oi, bruv.
Yeah,
Oi,
yeah,
bruv.
they act like that.
Yeah, they
Wait,
sure
wait,
do
wait, wait,
act
wait.
like
When
that.
did we get a British co-host?
It's right. My British is like not gonna lie. Like I have studied those people for decades now, and like I'm pretty good.
There's a reason why the Empire speaks British.
Yeah, yeah. Lucas has some
Not me.
problems.
That's why I speak American instead.
Right. Lucas has some problems, right? But like, who the fuck elects a queen? Come on, man. What are you doing here? That's called a prime minister.
I didn't vote for him.
Yeah, exactly. No, did you ever catch that? Did you ever catch that in the Phantom Menace? Like he wrote her as Queen Amidala, but like spoiler alert, Queen Amidala was elected to power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like hey knucklehead, that's not how you get a queen. Like
It's not a queen. That's a prime minister, you dumb motherfucker.
yeah, that's a president. Considering the fact that they handle domestic affairs, like arguably that's a president, not a prime minister. Or a premier. You could have said premier. That would have worked. But no. Okay, so hear
We
me
know
out.
that Lucas isn't the brightest boy.
He's well-meaning. I will say that. Like out of all of them, he's well-meaning, but he has a real problem with race too. Like
Yeah.
liberalism do be liberaling. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down on that one?
Picking it up.
Yeah. We'll get to that too. Like just in the first hour of the Phantom Menace, how many racial slurs are there? Plus, I have definitively figured out who the Jews are in the Star Wars universe, and boy, it's about to look real bad.
Oh God. Is it the ones who do the fucking trade negotiations? Is
No,
it that one?
no,
Is
okay,
it Watto?
it's not Watto. So there's an interesting dynamic at play.
Those are the accusations that I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's the usual regular USB-C.
So like let's because I am on a Star Wars kick anyway. This would be kind of fun, right? Let's go over the problematic parts of Star Wars first. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Phantom Menace, Episode 1, the reboot of the trilogy.
By the way, I am streaming Dune for the pleasure of the people in the chat.
Sweet.
June.
Sweet. That's why you should.
Nice.
That's why you should reach out to me and get an invite to the Discord
Yeah.
so you can watch Dune. Okay, the gameplay video. We do that. That's real private. That's a deep cut shit. There you go. That's the only advertising I'll do this year. That's not true. At some point, I'll write an episode. I'll write the holiday episode, and I'll advertise the shit out of that for a month. So Phantom Menace, Episode 1,
Anyway.
first hour. How much racism do we have? We have the Trade Federation guys, as pointed out by Jenk, whose mouths don't match their lips and who talk like these. So
And has slanty eyes.
Yep, they're frogs with slanty eyes.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Real racist
I
up in
like
there.
these movies.
Jar Jar Binks. That one is so egregious. I don't even think I'm gonna do it. Black Jamaicans.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
a Jar Jar Binks.
Watto, right? Watto's interesting because Watto's supposed to be greedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shifty negotiator. Tough as
Actually, the
nails.
only one who's not racist.
Weirdly not racist. Weirdly not racist slaver. Okay. So what is Watto?
So what I'm hearing is he's the only good guy.
Watto, okay, he is supposed to be Jewish. That's his direct coding. That's what you're supposed to think when you see Watto. But like all Italians, when they're caught being bad, okay,
Like all Italians.
when they're caught being Vlad, they try to make themselves out to be Jews so that the Italians are not complicit. Watto, he's just Italian.
But like all Italians.
Yes.
What a fucking take. So,
Yeah.
who is the Jewish representative in our racism factory? Please tell me.
So,
I'm ready for the reveal.
you ready for the reveal?
I'm ready
Okay.
for the gender reveal party.
We got to wind the clock back to pre-Exar Kun. We got to get back over 20,000 Star Wars years.
Okay.
20,000 galactic years. So, before the rise of Exar Kun, right, there were Dark Jedi who were originally Jedi and kind of discovered and started playing around with the Force. This is a Junta Paul's time. These are the very first Dark Jedi.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Oh no.
So, there is an ethnic race that is aligned
He's
to the
going
dark
all the
side
way
of the
back.
Force. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
All the way back.
We're going all the way back. They are red-skinned devils, okay, from a desert planet.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And
No.
they have a religion around the dark side of the Force. They have an ethno-religion. And these, by the way, Junta Paul is white, so these white people come and they mix with these red-skinned devil people, known as the Sith.
Oh no.
And through interbreeding, they end up creating a hybridized ideology and ethno-nationalist ideology and a religious ideology. Because Sith is simultaneously a religion and an ethno-national category.
God damn it. Anyway, welcome to Dan Cohen's TED Talk, I guess. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, the Sith are the Jews. Now,
No.
oh yeah, dude.
Oh, no. It makes so much sense.
It's horrifying that is it. Because the Jedi, right? The Jedi are a monastic order, right?
They're the Christian
No,
fucking
they're not Christian.
white nationalist savior order.
No. They're equalizing, right? They believe in equality,
Okay.
fraternity, and notably, right? They don't reject on gender, race, etc. Right? And they believe in a simultaneously redemption, and they believe in karma via the Force. They are like Christian Buddhist fusions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah.
are.
That's
It's
a
like
known thing.
if you fuse
They've
the
been that from the
Catholics,
beginning.
right? If you fuse the Catholics with the Buddhists, that's what you would get. You would get the Jedi.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
Sith are the Jews.
Sith
It's
are the
so
Jews.
correct. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Now it's a deep cut, right? Because the overt racial stereotypes are represented in Wada, in the Jawas, God forbid, in the Sand People, right?
Yeah.
All of those things. But when you boil down to what kind of commentary there is, the Sith are Zionists.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And if you think about it, how are the Sith perpetually portrayed, right? They're secretive. They try to infest and ingratiate themselves until they can take over something, which is a massive anti-Semitic
no.
right? Right? Then when they do, they launch a lot of genocide on all the native populations to overwhelm them and impose their will upon them. The Sith are also shrewd negotiators who will backstab and renege on a deal in a heartbeat in order to advance their own goals. And they're just murderous baby killers who can't help themselves. Like
no.
if Lucas was like, I believe Israel should exist, I'd be like, fuck you, you're lying. You of all people don't. Nobody hates Israel more than you. You're like he single-handedly is like, why don't you take your ass back to Korriban and get the fuck out of here? Look at that deep cut shit.
We don't take kindly to folks from Korriban around these parts. Rax shotgun.
Yeah. There's like a stormtrooper front on there who's like, yo, but for real, we got to get rid of all these Korrabanites.
Maybe you go back the way you came.
Yeah, well,
Did you say there was a storm front?
yeah, stormtrooper front, where they
Mhm.
hang out and talk about how they need to get away.
No,
Oh yeah,
the Daily Stormer.
the Daily Storm, literally
It's literally.
just the Daily
Uh,
Stormer. That's their news organization. But yeah, that's it. And if you notice, what do? Right? You have Palpatine being the apex of it, right? Palpatine ingratiates himself and replaces like the natural democratic order on Naboo to ingratiate and overturn the national democratic order in the Senate in order to in order to be given the wide swath of powers, including to like just take and enslave a coded light-skinned black man in Jango Fett, manipulate him at his leisure via the Camino cloning facility, and order them around to attack the good peoples of the Republic. Look what Palpatine does. And then along the way, what does he do? He seduces Anakin away from Christianity and Buddhism.
Buddhist Christianityism.
Yeah. He seduces him away from that in order to manipulate him into becoming a mass murderer so that he can wash his hands of the whole affair. He doesn't have to do it. He can just sit back and boss people around and be in charge. He doesn't have to get his hands dirty, right? He doesn't have to present himself in a negative light. He can blame the whites for the white-black conflict going on.
I'm uncomfortable with how right this feels.
Yeah. Dude, I've been thinking about this. Has been living in my head for the past week. It's been horrifying.
Why are you putting it in my head?
I don't know, because
I'm
I
not
played
gay, but I'll learn.
because I played Code
This
War
is the
1 this past
place
week.
where they, drill the hole in your skull so the demons can get out.
Yeah.
So that's what he just did to you, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
We didn't need extra. I needed those demons. They needed to stay in there.
Then
Now
you
they're
let
out.
people
I gotta
alive.
deal with
power.
the worst.
But yeah, man. So I've been playing Code War again because I don't know if I don't talk about it much, but I'm like a low key like Star Wars fan. Like, and by low key
Yeah.
I mean like I really fucking like Star Wars. I just don't. I try to actively not let it be my personality.
Bleed into everything.
Yeah, because like I could. Like,
Yeah, same.
and I would be very happy to do so.
Name. We're all on that front.
Yeah. Man, I thought about getting the old Battlefront 2 game
Aw,
from
damn it.
2005.
We've been taking a beating these years though.
Yeah, we have.
Get the PSP one. PSP one is the best.
The PSP one?
Yeah. It's like 1 and 2 classic or some shit.
PSP. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I saw the classic. Somebody said that was. I looked. So if I were to buy Battlefront 2, just Battlefront 2 from 2005, I would get that for $10. If I bought it and I bought Battlefront 1 from 2000, I think 3 individually, I'd get that for $20. If I bought the classic double pack, I could pay $35.
Yeah.
Those were phenomenal games, just to be clear.
They were. If I could get everybody together for
But
one
you
last,
you assume that I used that money to obtain that game.
I am pretending you did because we're live on the air right now.
After all of well, I used to have it on the PSP, and that's part of the issue of preservation is what if you have this game and you bought it 4 fucking times and it's just not on the platform you want anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we're running into
Like
a
if we want to
problem,
get
too.
if we want to get technical, I could go get the Xbox copy and be like, look, man, I got the Xbox copy and the Steam fucking copy.
Yeah.
Fucking dickwads. They want all the money in the universe.
Yeah, how many times do I need to be taught this lesson myself? Jesus.
I would literally kill to land that game one more time before I die. It's
Yeah.
16 people, around 16, around, I guess at this point now you have to have 16 boxes or whatever. I guess you could play, I think I'll still do 4-player split screen, but I'll have to find that out. Just everybody crowding around, just 8-on-8, Galactic Conquest, go till somebody wins. You know what I mean?
hmm
Figure out real quick who your best Jedi player is, and just be like, yeah, this is what this whole match is about. Who's your best Jedi, and who's your best like soldier hero, and then like every time that pops up, you just let them pop, let them cook. God, I was such a good Vader. I forgot. I'm like, not to brag, but like I was such a good fucking Vader. Like, you have no idea. I got Vader and fuckers. That was it. That was the match. Any level Vader was on as the hero was just, yeah, it's Vader time. All right, I got this. Don't worry. I know what to do. Choke, choke, stab. Choke, stab, throw. There was a rhythm to it. I could just cut down on. I literally, like, I can remember playing that game and just cutting through 100 soldiers in 2 minutes flat. Like, because I was just like, I'll dive where the whole battle's at and where they respawn. They'll not make it. I youngling that shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I missed
Yes,
that
I
game.
believe I know what you are saying.
Yeah, I committed a war crime.
That's
Oh,
not
I
a war
thought you
crime
were just
anymore.
I thought you were
Yeah.
just
They-
mispronouncing the local beer.
No,
They're
They-
just war suggestions at this point.
yeah,
Sternly
Yeah.
worded letters.
we don't call them crimes anymore. We call them battle plans. Yeah, no, I missed that game so fucking much, dude. There's my I'm turning 40 next year nostalgia hit, where I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
yeah,
It's a shame what they did too, because they had the look. The look was great.
the
Just
look was
EA
really
just
great.
ruined it. EA just ruined it.
Well, because they put everything in fucking loot boxes.
It sucks.
Uh,
Everything else was great. If they had just let it be a good KOTOR game, we would have been straight.
Yeah,
Because it looked phenomenal. It still looks phenomenal.
it really does hold up.
But the loot boxes, man, just ugh.
That EA one, it controls slick. The idea of having different guns for different like situations, like, okay, I get it. You may want a different type of blaster rifle. It's really cool they went to the detail of it, and some of these actually like work. You
Mhm.
know, some of these will let you get shit done. But fuck me, the loot boxes, like, you can't guarantee that you're gonna get a character or a weapon that you actually want. So it's like, what do I do with this? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do? You could, like, somebody calculated based on how they do their loot boxes. They're like, you actually could spend like $1 million and not get the thing you wanted.
Yeah, and you could also spend like 15,000 hours on some things.
Yeah. But somebody was like, honestly, like, this is the only game where you actually can just keep pressing money, press button, spend money, and not get the thing you want. And they're incentivized for figuring it out as fast as possible and denying you that. Like, they're actually incentivized to keep you from getting it. And EA's like, well, we wouldn't fucking do that. And it's like, you build a system where it's literally impossible to just get the thing you want. So, like, why wouldn't you just deny somebody once you figure it out?
And then their response is a sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that and $5. EA's response: have you tried masturbating? No, really? If you fantasize
we
about
do it all the time.
yeah, we're
This is
jerking
all the
right
money that comes pouring in. We just can't help ourselves.
now. We're
The
loving
number goes up, everything's in the green, and all of a sudden we're touching ourselves again.
it. Yeah, we're doing great over here, man. So that's
Like
it.
the fucking South Park skit.
Yeah.
Oh, we're your only internet service provider in the area? Oh, that's terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, you only want to not have the murder porn channels? Well, unfortunately, they come with a package of 500 other channels in Spanish and Portuguese. That's the only way to not get it.
Go!
Oh, you didn't wanna spend all your money on loot boxes trying to pull the one thing you wanted?
That was
Oh,
their
we're sorry.
that was their golden age of just fuckery. I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever getting back to that. It's ever going back to that.
They can't because they're libs now.
Well, you can't because people are just not going to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant South Park. I'm sorry. I meant South Park. My bad. Yeah, South Park can't be good again because they're libs now. They're like,
Oh yeah.
you know, their joy was being half researched libertarians. Like that was what made them
Mhm.
funny, and now they're
Mhm.
like,
It's just completely deranged,
yeah, now that they're
completely
fully
detached
realized
from reality.
adults. Mm-mm.
They grew up and got boring.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They were like, what the fuck, man?
Good for them though. I guess that's a
Was
better.
question mark?
I don't know.
Yeah, a
Is
lot of
it
people.
better?
What's that?
Is it better? Is it worse?
Well,
I,
the content's worse.
I don't
I
know.
guess it's better.
I guess it would just be an individual interpretation at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll still find things you click with.
For me, I'd probably say, yeah, that's probably better than the flag waving bootsteppers.
And
Probably,
before they were trying to be
but
like
it's not
rush
too
libertarians.
different.
Yeah. They were trying to be like rush libertarians, which like isn't actually a coherent thing. It's just literally like I'm mad at my dad or whatever. It's
Hmm.
funny, like you'd be hard pressed to be like they were unfunny. Like that's not
Oh
true.
no, they're definitely funny. No,
Yeah,
no, they were.
they had some bangers back then, but like,
I'm sure they're still funny, just
eh,
and not like that. Not like that.
it's a hell of a lot weaker now, man.
Crazy. Yeah, a little little I don't know word. I don't want to say watered down.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
I want to say like flavor notes. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna be as intense.
and indeed, it isn't. It's just not. Like it's lost a lot of its edge, and that's because again, like they're older.
I'm sure they're at least somewhat happier though.
Kind of.
I hope.
I hope for their sake.
I'm looking for silver linings here. Come on, man.
Kind of. I mean, they still have elements.
Don't.
Oh shit. But yeah, anyway, so the Sith are Jews, and
Ah, fuck.
Okay.
Back to
Okay.
this and you're still right. God damn it.
yeah, I just waited. I wanted to see how you'd feel after it's settled in. Nope, I'm correct again.
Oh,
Um,
correct.
yeah, Sith are Jews. Because I was like watching the older movies, and like I don't hate them as
Okay.
much as I originally did.
Which ones are the black people?
Well, you want me to be real? Like Wookiees.
Yeah. Wookiees. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wookiees are supposed to be black. They live in trees, which is
We could
supposed to
take.
be.
I could take Wookiees. Wookiees are cool.
I mean, as far as it goes, like nobody understands what they're saying with their hip hop and their loud music in the woods,
They're always just chilling.
cruising around the jungle, doing that shit that they do. Wookiees are
Kashyyyk.
also low key. Like the biggest bias there is that like they are supposed to be like Han's supposed to have a cool black friend um in like Chewbacca. Yeah, by the way, Kashyyyk, right? Kashyyyk. Like you can just hear like Lucas
Kashyyyk.
saying in his head is like a jive thing. Yeah,
Kashmir.
man. Yeah, man. I'm going down to Kashyyyk. You want something?
It's like
Yeah.
Morocco or some shit.
Yeah, that's what you're hearing. Yeah, that's what you're hearing. Well, like he used the woods because he was like a jungle would be a little on the nose, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
hmm And then
The forest
fortunately,
moon. It's a forest moon,
yeah,
so it's better.
yeah, right. It's the forest moon. Sorry, my bad. Hey, good news though. That part of Kashyyyk where they have the battle in Revenge of the Sith, it's a rainforest, kind of a jungle, if you will.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's because it's
Um.
paradise. No Imperials allowed. We got what the fuck is those things called? Ewoks. They got Ewoks.
Yep. The
You
cousins
don't
of
want to
the
mess with no.
Wookiees.
You don't want to mess with no Ewoks.
There's an interesting thing there where they had to retcon because what they did. They retcon. I don't know if it's retconning or not, but like it's a little bit unclear to me. But they made the Ewoks and the Wookiees genetic cousins on the premise that basically the Empire that takes place 40,000 years before like Episode 4, the Rakatan Empire, the ones who made the Star Forge and KOTOR 1, basically they took Ewoks and they dropped them off on Kashyyyk because they needed somebody to tend to the plants there in a natural, like, harmonized way. And their technology broke, so that's why everything's tall there, including the Ewoks, aka the Wookiees.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if that's technically a retconning, but that's how Wookiees got to Kashyyyk, and it's how they evolved to be different than the Ewoks, despite having the same faces. Like they have the same facial features, but they're like elongated Ewoks, and that's why.
On the forest moon of Endor of Kashyyyk.
No, Forest Moon of
Forest moon of
Endor.
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk is its own planet. Kashyyyk was an agricultural
Yeah,
world
yeah.
for the
Kashyyyk
Rakatan
is a
Empire.
planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I kind of hate myself, but I've been hiding this for so long, and I have to like process it. How much I fucking love Star Wars, dude. It's good shit. It's incredibly
I
racist.
mean, yeah, but genuinely, at least it says no to fascism, so that's good.
It
I'll take it as
does.
a win. I'll take it
It
as a win.
notably it did in 2003 when they were taking a swing on George W. Bush. Like that's who those
Mhm.
movies were against. He was like, "Yeah, fuck that guy. Look what you're doing."
Mhm.
Good job. The
Yeah.
bar
Mhm.
was so low, and you managed to not trip over it.
To be fair to
See,
him, at
that's all
that
it takes.
time, I know, right? To be fair to him at that time, like liberals were like, "Yeah, we got to go bomb those people." You know what I mean? We got to go bomb those people in the Middle East. And Lucas was like, "The fuck are you doing? You know those people didn't do nothing to you. You leave them alone. What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That sounds just like him
Well, what the hell?
too.
You know, it gets worse too when you think about it, because like Anakin, like they did, like if thank God they coded Anakin exterminating the Sand People as a bad thing. But like
Mhm.
if you think
Mhm.
about it, like what's the premise of the Sand People thing? Like
Well,
we kidnapped a white woman, we killed
even
her.
the even the even the Nazis now they seem to not understand that that was a bad thing, which is hilarious. Because it
Yeah,
completely recolors their entire interpretation of Star Wars, and they just completely miss it wholesale.
yeah. Oh yeah, they don't understand that Star Wars was against them. But like think about the Anakin thing that's coded as negative, right? What happens?
Hmm. He
Um,
goes to the dark side.
Shimmy Skywalker is kidnapped by the fucking Sand People. Their terms, by the way, this isn't a racist slur. This is the term for those people. Which, if you're like,
Hmm.
that sounds kind of
Hmm.
racist, like you're right, but it's not
I hate
intended.
I hate I hate sand.
Yeah, I hate sand. That line is not as stupid as it thinks, because he's trying to coyly say, "I want to stay on Naboo with you." He's trying to be coy. I
Hmm.
I could speak volumes on that too. Okay, but like think about like that for a minute. So the premise of that whole thing where Anakin wipes them out, which they code as negative, is that a bunch of people in the desert kidnapped a white woman and did stuff to her. Like, not exactly where you'd want to go if you're condemning the Bush administration's violent policies in the Middle East. That's kind of like, if you really think about it, why did liberalism fail to stop that? Like the war train there. And it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't equipped to handle it because they agreed fundamentally with the premise. They were like, we're going to have to deal with the jihadists, obviously. They're fucking primitive animals. So like that's a real, when people talk about like that fundamental Islamophobia around that time, started in 1999. You know, it didn't even start in 1999. It was just that aggressively visible in 1999. We could see it then. The only thing that would have made it better by comparison is we'd seen it in the 80s and like John McClane or whatever. That was the character in Die Hard, right? John McClane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So if John McClane, like in that first Die Hard movie, if like he's with Gunther and then there's just a bunch of Arabs from vaguely Arabic sounding countries that are made up.
It comes from Takistan.
Yeah. And you're like, that has to be racist. That can't be a real place. I don't know anything about the Middle East, so I'm gonna presume it's real, but like also that sounds racist. And you're like, I don't know, god damn it. But yeah, 'cause
Just don't know.
I was listening to something. One of the content creators. I was listening to him about fucking The West Wing being like the most racist dog shit you've ever heard, and like the way they talk about Arabs on there, and you're like, oh wow, we need more West Wing liberals, do we? Okay, well how about this? Instead, all the West Wing liberals can kill themselves, and we're content struck. Well, the good news
Really?
is I meant what I said. I don't know. I'll double check. Probably. That felt like it was big enough to get the ban. No, we're still on, dude. Blessed, though the
Fuckers.
Roman
They
Empire
didn't catch
represents
us.
the dark side of Star Wars.
They're not
Blessed
paying
Tuck
attention
now.
to us.
The Roman Empire instead of the Sith. No. The Roman Empire allegedly inspired the Sith, but again, the Romans aren't an ethno. See, this is the thing. That is more the Italians trying to launder. This is a reverse case. This is other people trying to launder the Italians onto the Jews. This is chat, by the way. We have Blessed took now. The Roman Empire inspired the Sith. Not true. Not true at all, because the Sith were a race of people in a desert planet. Okay, in the desert, white people showed up and they interbred with them and manufactured an ethno religion. Meaning the Sith have their own distinct political ideology, their own distinct religious ideology, and there are also people who are definitively born of Korriban. And after human and other races intermingled with the Sith, other people can lay claim to that as their birthright. None of that shit is Roman. You can say like, oh, the Roman Empire represents it. It doesn't. Okay, that's just wrong. I can say it's representative of the Han Dynasty. Problem is, there's no parallels. The Chinese aren't an ethno religion. It's a bunch of Chinese people in China. That's it. It's not how that works. That's what, when Lucas did that subconsciously or consciously, or more than likely, it's the people who did like the fucking backstory to KOTOR over at BioWare. Those people are deeply racist. I don't think this one. So that was LucasArts and BioWare's big joint, right? In KOTOR 1. I don't think that it was so much George himself. I think that was more people that George signed off on, not really thinking about it very hard. Because, like, George was what you would call, like, a stock centrist liberal at the time, where he had, like, definitely good leftist impulses, like stock centrist liberals did at that time. But he just co signed the most awful shit, like centrist liberals did at the time. You know, they had overtures towards everything from Medicare for all or some sort of alternative universal health care, to racial equality, gender equality. Those people, like in 99, I can remember the discourse about gay people kind of being tenuous to being a live and let live, which is not ideal in the long run, but in the short run, like, real fucking
Was
base to live.
significantly better than the alternative.
Yeah, and it was significantly better than the alternative. Live and let live is infinitely superior to kill on sight. It doesn't mean it's non-homophobic, but it does mean that in one of those scenarios, the intention is that gay people are alive tomorrow. So, you know, Lucas was co-signing all this bullshit in '99. He was co-signing again through the other two movies too. I think 01 and 03, if I remember exactly correct. I can look it up really easily, but I'm also not going to do that. Yeah, not my cup of tea. I shoot from the hip, baby. Whatever I remember, whatever's rattling in there. So whoever on the KOTOR development team at BioWare or at LucasArts was like, let's like redo how we treat the Sith and their origin story, because with the first 6 movies, you would presume that the Sith, while they had been around for a long time, were a monastic order that was hyper secretive, and that their support structures were very, very small. If you read the expanded universe at that time, you would get the impression that there had always been Sith and Jedi fighting because of some fundamental religious split that's supposed to be Protestantism versus Catholicism, with Lucas subtly saying the Catholics were correct. If you were smart enough to pick up on it, which like nobody's smart enough to pick on this shit unless they're like weird like me, and that doesn't really make you smart. It makes you probably speaking undiagnosed autist, because I care too much about this shit. But that team who did that game, which I believe KOTOR was an 03 game, had been working with LucasArts while they were working on the third Star Wars movie, or episode 3, so the sixth Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith, and they had been watching and consuming that content, because I want to say it was 03 or 05 for KOTOR 1. They had been consuming that content and absorbing like how that story, they wanted it to go, and they were running shit past George Lucas at the time, who had way more control. He had people who were helping him sign off on ideas about how Star Wars ought to look. He had creative control over that property, and he wasn't willy-nilly about it. For all his faults, Lucas cared about what he was doing, and Lucas does have positive instincts.
But
But clearly somebody over there was like, we can really sneak some deep cut anti-Jewish shit into this, and only the real noticers will find out. So like, again, like, I appreciate that you're like, no, the Roman Empire runs the dark side of Star Wars. No. Technically speaking, Nazism would be the thing that represents the dark side if you have the crude understanding of it. But in like all reality, he's talking about a pre-fascist conflict between Christendom and Judaism. And he falls deeply on the side of Christianity. Ugh. That being said, what am I going to do after the show? I'm probably going to finish episode 4.
Brutal.
Yeah. No, but one of the coolest scenes too is like that Sith Empire that Palpatine set up is like so different than all the other Sith Empires, because the other Sith Empires wanted to figure out a way to propagate themselves and perpetuate the Empire ruling, mimicking the Jedi, right? Mimicking the Jedi and the Republic, and trying to fuse their theocratic fascist ideas. Palpatine's different. Palpatine actually tries to remove basically all traces of the Force, so that only he and Vader and whomever he adopts as an apprentice in his ideal scenario are the only Force users, right? He tries to eradicate the whole thing.
Rule of 2.
Well, he tries to go beyond the rule of 2.
That's a little earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he's following the rule of 2 with Master and Apprentice. He does that several times, and he manipulates that to his advantage, as the rule of 2 dictates he should, because his apprentice should be taking on apprentices to be able to usurp him, and that cycle should continue. There's not actually only 2, but there should be, on paper, there's only 2 Sith Lords, right? And Palpatine follows that on paper. In actuality, he was cooking 2 and trying to pick up a 3rd. My man was not loyal. He's a cheater. Roman eyes, okay? Roman eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maul, Dooku, and Vader. You know what I mean? So Palpatine's goal is to place himself as the crux, at the central figure. Very Luciferian, right? Not only is he a sweet-talking manipulator, this brutal sadist, this brutal pleasure-seeking sadist, and he seeks his pleasure through torture and agony and all this shit. He's a very satanic figure, like openly. And in that, he tries to like convert to worship of the Force synonymous with him, with Vader as being the only person so that he can follow his teaching properly, because he is still religious. You know, who else believes in God, right? Satan has to believe in God. It literally has to. Because if Satan is real, God has to be real. They're contingent beings, right? So he very much is a believer in the rule of 2. He has to be to function as Palpatine. That's part of what makes Palpatine Palpatine. He's the master. And he needs, we're getting into dialectics here, but he needs Anakin to see him that way, and he needs Vader to see him that way. In fact, he needs both entities, Anakin and Vader, to see him that way. He needs Anakin to be subordinated to Vader, and Vader subordinated to him. Right? That's just what he sets up. He accomplishes all his goals. Palpatine's a fucking killer. But that's why when they're in that room on the Death Star and they're arguing, right? That one fucker is like, "Oh, you and your stupid religion." Palpatine, it makes it very clear by episode 4, Palpatine is basically forbid any acknowledgement of the Sith way or the Jedi way outside of this very elite cabal. See what I'm getting at?
hmm
and like that's why that guy is like just to Vader, he's just like, "You and your stupid fucking religion, you idiot." And that's why Vader's like, "I find your lack of faith disturbing," because like in Vader's mind, like, I'm right in the fucking room, dude. What are you talking about? Like, stuffy old religion, bitch, I'm right here. I'll cut you up right now.
I am the religion.
Yeah, I'm it. Literally 50% of the thing. What are you talking about? And that's why he chokes that guy out. Because it doesn't, like, the Palpatine's way with the Sith is not as... The old Sith empires of the past are painted as being very barbaric and dysfunctional by default. And there's a reason, like, they're able to just, like, wreck shit everywhere. But, like, when it comes to actually ruling, they never really get an empire going in a substantive way. They can hold a few worlds ultimately, and they can, like, rally a fleet and wreck shit, but they can't really hold an empire. And it's because, like, Sith law is like, "Oh, what if your commanding officer fucking shows mercy to one prisoner one time? Better kill him.
Murder him.
Murder him on sight. But God forbid that his commanding officer liked him, because then he'll murder you." But if you're loyal and try to build a power block so you can impose your will in a greater sense, you're a cuck loser who's too woke, and you got to be murdered. Like barbarians at the gate type shit, like just absolutely disorganized freaks. Whereas Palpatine puts those military officers on the level with a Sith Lord. He puts Vader in the room as a representative of his religious interests, but as an equal to all those military and civilian officers on the Death Star.
Who in Star Wars is Zelensky?
Who would Zelensky be? Somebody in the Force Awakens, I think. That guy.
One of the gamblers at Canto Bight.
Unfortunately, probably what would be best is some kind of like, who's the dumbest Hutt you can think of? Probably that guy. Because in 2018, Zelensky would have been seen as just a goofy weirdo. I don't even think he was important. He'd be like a Biff musician, actually. But yeah, Palpatine's really fucked up. Palpatine really could not help himself in shitting all over Vader at every chance he got. Like, that's another thing that's so interesting about Star Wars. Like, he really is the fucking devil. Like, he really is. Like, if you go back through in the expanded media and just start picking out random Sith Lords, like, Malak was evil. He did a bunch of genocides. Like, Malak was not a good guy. Malak conceived himself as a traditional Sith Lord. You go to Revan. Revan did a bunch of genocides, but Revan also had a mode where he was heroic. And, Revan kind of danced between the light because he was the first chosen one. He was the first great prophet of Allah. Praise be. And Anakin was the second. And, like, before that, Exar Kun. Exar Kun was a wild brute, but Exar Kun still had normal goals. Ajunta Paul was ultimately powerful in the Force, but realistically just wanted to expand his knowledge base and get laid. Two things the Jedi would not let him do.
Props.
Respect King.
Yeah, props to Ajunta Paul.
Game, respect, game.
Game, respect, game. Right? That's literally the origins of the Dark Jedi, were like a bunch of horny dudes who were just like, I want to go get laid. And I want to learn about the dark side. Like, I want to do cool shit, man. I don't want to sit around meditating all the time and talking about how my feelings are fucking weak, man. I want to be pissed. I want to get laid. I want to feel shit other than serenity. Fuck that. Serenity's lame. That's where Ajunta Paul starts all this shit. But yeah, it's just fucking like, I really fucking. I did not expect to go this far into the Star Wars. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute blurb. And like realistically, I could have just called this a Star Wars episode. Yeah. I really should have just called this Star Wars. Star Wars. Also, the stream name's fucked up. I don't even give a shit. Who cares? I hit update 4 fucking times. Stupid OBS didn't take it. So anyway, also, here's what makes what makes 1 through 3 bad. Okay, they're faster than the first trilogy, but not fast enough to be bad on the axis of cinematography. The directors who did not show fucking Hayden Christensen how to act and left him to his own volition and basically just shot it and went. Okay, that was fucking terrible. Favoring all the cool CGI shit over dialogue and direction was a giant fail. And
Big fail.
some of the lore's kind of
Big
weak.
waste of money.
Big waste of money and time. They're still infinitely better than the Force Awakens shit because J.J. Abrams, like, I like it. Like I've said this before in chat, right? But the J.J. Abrams films are like, what if I was watching Star Wars on the hood of a Formula One racer and I was high on coke? Like every shot is like 2 seconds long. It's hard to figure out what the fuck is going on. You've got a whole batch of new people and concepts to learn about, but we only get to see them for 2 seconds or less at a time. Very rapid fire cinematography, which, like, one of the big reasons why you even give a shit, you might give a shit in retrospect about episodes 1 or 2, not so much 3, but 1 or 2, is because, like, when you see the battlefield in episode 1 where they're fighting the droid armies, you get the wide shot with the armies moving in for a few seconds. You get to really chew up Naboo scenery. Then you get that shot from a different angle, and it lines up with the greater angle, and you see it from the Gungans' perspective. And then you see it from a droid perspective and their lines. And then when they're fighting, you're seeing these wide open areas. It's a very wide shot, right? Think about that first battle of The Force Awakens, where I think his name's Finn, Black Stormtrooper, right? That's all we got there.
Oh, you just reminded me of that shit. I was so mad. I'm still salty about that.
Black Stormtrooper's fine.
You had a perfect chance to make a fucking make an interesting stormtrooper in a main. You know what I mean?
Doesn't he die in that movie?
In which one?
Does Finn die in that movie?
No.
No, I think he makes it to the end.
Yeah, I think the problem with him is Abrams portrayed him as a direct clone of Jango, which, like, he can't be, right? Because he is black and has a different face. But there's lore that covers why you can have a black guy with a different face who doesn't look like Jango Fett, who is vaguely light skinned. Like, there's a reason that Finn still works. And the reason Finn works is because there was a rebellion during the Empire's very early years of Republic troopers who were like, hey man, I don't really like killing fucking random women and children just because Palpatine's got to show off how big his dick is. Why don't we just fucking rebel? To which, like, the other stormtroopers were like, oh yeah, we fought or whatever, blah blah blah. And then, like, those rebels executed a bunch of fucking, like, people, like they executed a bunch of fucking Imperial stormtroopers and, like, did a bunch of fucking damage to the Empire, like almost overthrow it in like a rage basically. And they were like, oh fuck, first we got to put these dogs down and then we got to figure out what to do about it. And the clones that were loyal to the Empire did put them down, but they were like, we kind of don't want to risk this happening again because then you'll just kill all of us. And, like, we're loyal. So can we work something out here? And what was decided was they would take strains of other races and mix them in with the Mandalorians. And races here means, like, species, you know what I mean? Like, not just Mandalorians, humans and whatever, like demi-humans. And that would produce clone stock that was less reliant on the original Jango Fett stock, and they would intermingle them. Artificial breeding through Kamino's cloning facilities, but that would keep them at a higher degree of loyalty because they could breed for the loyalty traits of Jango Fett and remove some of the degradation to his DNA that they had over making literally billions of fucking clones. So like Finn's existence makes sense. And also Finn being rebellious because again, we're talking they've done this billions of fucking times. The DNA degrades. They're not hand sculpting each fucking clone warrior. That would take too much money and time. Kamino's still getting paid because Kamino's the only place you can do this shit. You know what I mean? It's it. You can't do this shit anywhere else. So Finn's existence makes perfect sense. What did they fucking do? I fucking forgot that guy. I forgot what he actually looked like beyond Black Stormtrooper. I forgot his fucking name for a minute. It took me a second. That character, you are correct. He's so incredibly wasted, and he has the potential to be such a cool character.
Insult, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the problem is they put him like just narratively who gets to be the Jedi. They put him in competition with Rey when like the answer was both. They could just been both Jedi. Because at that point, Luke had founded a new Jedi Academy, and fucking Ben Solo, Kylo Ren is the one who killed all those fucking Jedi. So it's not like you couldn't have more. And like there's Force sensitives all over the fucking universe. If you believe the Force is what the Force is, then of course they could come together. And the fact that they're both nearby and there's all this stress and conflict could produce Force sensitivity to where they could both learn to be Jedi. And they would have had different narratives. One of them's coming from being the bad guy to now being a good guy, and what does that mean? And the other one is coming from being nothing, just like Luke, and we have a story we know. So we have a familiar story, and we have this new story. And that's really what they were trying to do anyway.
Yeah. I get so irritated about the like structural failing, and it has a lot to do with the like the directors changing multiple times over the series is just like such a frustrating thing. But for
Because
me,
they're just like,
it's just
fuck what
like
that guy did, and just
yeah,
throw it in the trash.
the first of those episodes I think had the best take, which was, you know, it ends on a note of anyone can be a Jedi, anyone can do the thing, anyone can do the thing. You are all capable of it. And then at the very end of it, it culminates with, no, wait a minute, this one was actually secretly a Palpatine the whole time.
Well,
My bad.
Yeah.
That's
You dumb motherfucker. If you're not one of these two families, you're fucked.
well because this era is marked by the Palpatines and the Skywalkers, and essentially their war through the Force playing out their destinies. Like that part is fine to me that Rey is the ultimate killer of Palpatine in the Palpatine line.
I think it's a bad take. And I
Well,
think it's a bad take because I think the first episode had a stronger message in the form of like, wow, here you go. You can be a Skywalker, you can be a Force user, you can be anything.
Yeah.
I think that's a better message to be propagating out into the universe. And then on top of that, at least stick with it. You know what I mean? Like, take the message that was given. You're like, okay, I didn't really want to give this message, but here we are. It's so counter to the narrative that you were building in the first of this set of three. When you change it halfway through and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. No, you do have to be either a Palpatine or a Skywalker. That's your only choice.
Well, because otherwise a Palpatine or Skywalker is going to kill you is the secret sauce. Honestly. Like, but no, like if you think about it though, like
they do
Rey,
like murder.
Like I do
be
agree.
liking murder.
I do agree to some extent that putting Rey in as a genetic member of the Palpatine line, or even as an adopted member of the Skywalker line, like either or, that's kind of bad.
It's counter to the narrative. Yeah.
It's counter to the narrative. She should not be the Skywalker Rising. She should not be, and she should not have been a Palpatine, right? She should not have ties to Naboo, being from Jakku and whatever. The other problem is that, again, Rey is like anybody who's Force sensitive can be a Jedi, right? That's how her story should have gone. And she's around these people. And it's not just the Skywalker line is powerful in midichlorians or the Palpatine line is powerful in midichlorians. Anybody can be Force sensitive and power in midichlorians. It kind of depends on their ethics once they're aware of that situation and what they do, right? and you can be good or evil on that basis. Whereas like Finn would have been, if he would have been a Jedi too, would have been a fantastic uh, uh, redemption arc. And then what would have been really been cool from a Star Wars point of view, since Rey and Finn would be coded as Jedis in this scenario, it would have been really cool to see them go gray and flirt with the idea of dating, and then at the very end of it, reject it not on like I'm not in love with you grounds, but in the end that like it doesn't serve the Force for us in particular to engage in that way, which people would have said was racist. And like honestly, we're dealing with Star Wars, probably would have been a little bit, but but it would have made the Star Wars narrative better, and it would have mirrored Revan and Bastila Shan's arc, where Revan and
Yeah.
Bastila Shan did fall in love, and because they fell in love and produced a child, meaning they were not just in love, but they were in sexual congress, right? Because they did that, Revan destroyed the Sith and then proceeded to destroy the fucking Jedi with his actions. Revan and Bastila are the original cause of like 20,000 years ago the galaxy going into chaos. And it's because they fell in love and did not follow the Jedi Order. If, you know, in the canon side is he does go light side, but he takes the Sith army, he fakes being dark side, takes the Sith army, goes to the fucking Outer Rim, and goes to war against the original Sith. He goes and leads an attack on them because Revan can't stop doing Revan shit, which is like, I gotta be at war and kicking somebody's ass. But because they're in love and they do that, that causes the Force to have to be like, well, we can't have all these fucking chosen ones running around. Time to reset it. Everybody got to die. We got to thin out the herd a little bit. Which, like, the other thing is too, like, you know, the other thing with that is like the Force, like people present the Force as like this thing that's like bound to the light and bound to the dark, and it's constantly pulling itself in different directions. The Force is apparently an fucking moral bacterium that is just parasitic. A Force doesn't give a shit. It's a bunch of bastards, a bunch of microscopic bastards.
Mm.
Yeah, so like when these Force
Yeah,
quote unquote,
microscopic bastards.
yeah, so like when the Force balances itself out in this way, is like what would have been really good for Rey and Finn to balance out the light, instead of like Luke's reclusiveness or Luke not being a proper master, right? To balance out that light again, because again, remember, like Luke's the offspring of another fucking chosen one, and what the chosen one do is they thin out the fucking herd. That's what they do. When people are like, when the Jedi believe they'll bring balance to the Force, and the Sith believe that they'll be bringing an eternal empire, it is a death impulse that is brought with the chosen one. When the Force congregates like that, people gotta die. A lot of people gotta die. The Force gets hungry. That's what really happens. The Force is this all-consuming monster. So, like, there's a part of Palpatine. This is the most fucked up part. There's a part of Palpatine that's really heroic because he's trying to discipline the Force itself. He's trying to put himself above God in a very satanic fashion. But the end result of that would be better for everybody. If the Force went the fuck away, that universe would be better. The Force is horrifying. But even then, Palpatine, of course, can't help himself in his satanic fashion because he's got to make sure I fucking clone myself. I'm the apex of the goddamn Force. I manipulate it. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to subordinate it to his will and keep it all for himself, to the point where he has clones of himself. And he clones himself not only in the terms of natural reproduction, like we all replicate our DNA and clone ourselves, but in that unnatural reproduction where he copies his memory and mind to imprint on other bodies to continue subjugating the Force in that direction as well. That part's fucking cool. And it would have been, again, it would have been really fucking cool. Let's go back to that, right? It would have been really fucking cool if Rey and Finn square off against Palpatine, kick him and all his clones' ass, no more Palpatine ever again, and then instead of banging, being like, no, we're gonna found the new Jedi Order on this, like, this premise. Like instead of doing what Palpatine did, which is trying to reproduce themselves forever, rejecting that. That would have been such a cool fucking movie, man. That would have been such a cool ending. And like the people who hate the woke would have hated it anyway. So who cares? Their opinions don't matter. That would have been like a Lucas level Star Wars film, and they left it on the fucking table for Finn can't be encoded because he's black. Like, that's the worst. He's Mandalorian. You can't let the Mandalorians have lightsabers.
Right.
Why? You know what they'll do with them, don't you? Play their loud fucking music all the time through their lightsaber and shit, and just roll around.
Damn Mandalorians and their Black Panther party. Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
This is not the way.
This is not the way. Yeah, we're gonna have a black Jedi problem on our hands. You know what I'm saying? The dark Jedi. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Melanated Jedi. I mean, what?
yeah, that would have been so fucking cool, and it would have been a reversal. It would have been a spiteful reversal of the rule of two as well. It would have been such a spiteful reversal of the rule of two as well, and there would have been this awesome love triangle. And like Kylo Ren's trying to seduce Rey and like be like and like clearly be the path that's wrong. The white boy is clearly the path that's wrong, whereas Finn's like not openly trying to seduce her, but he's trying to keep her on the light side. And Rey's like conflicted. And then you could do a thing where like Kylo Ren was like trying to do the same thing to Finn because Kylo Ren's just a fucking monster. You know, and he's like, again, we could do some homophobia in here too to get to this point because the storytelling's so good. You just ignore it. You just ignore it. Like we do with all the other Star Wars shit, we just overlook it. So like Ren could be doing the same thing to Finn, and Rey's keeping Finn, you know, away from that shit. Because like frankly, like let's also do some anti-white racism too. Like it's 2024, you know what I'm saying? Like or 2025. I guess the time of these movies is 2019. Time to be racist, anti-white. They're like, no, you can't trust a white guy in this scenario. You know what I'm saying? He's the bad
Yeah,
guy.
that's definitely untrustworthy.
He's
Especially with that nose he has.
Yeah, look at that nose. Look at how pale his skin is. Look at that fucking nose. That guy don't wash his hair. That guy don't take a shower more than once a week.
That's an Italian if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
That's how you call back, kids.
that's how you call back. That's right. Super fucking Italian. So yeah, they could have done that, and then it would have like, you know, frankly, kind of like compared to what we normally do around these parts, kind of would have evened out a little bit. Also, Wikipedia is still set up for Pride Month.
Just go Wikipedia.
I'm gonna take a little.
Not giving a single fuck about the date.
Nope. Good, frankly. Fuck them. At least they're trying. But yeah, like there's all sorts of things. Like you could have coded it like that. You could have, you know, and that's like a very traditional Star Wars movie with all the underlying isms and all the underlying problematics. But like the story would have been so good again. You just forgive it, and it would have been a better narrative than what Abrams is doing, which is like black people can't be Jedis. They're black. You have to be exceptional and white and frankly pretty to be able to wield the Force. Otherwise, you can't have the Force.
Or be a weird space bug robot man with 4 arms.
That one.
Yeah, what's that one?
That was Grievous.
No. I know who the character is. What is it racially?
Grievous racially? He's a Slav.
He's a Slav.
He's a Slav. He's Slavic. General Grievous is here. Dos Vidonia.
It's pure ideology, Mr. Kenobi.
It is pure ideology, Mr. Kenobi. Oh.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah. It's in his accent too. General Grievous. Gentlemen, I will take you to Space Moscow. You will be safe away from the Jedi.
You will be safe away from that Jedi.
Yeah. Also, Coruscant is Rome. Chat. Coruscant is Rome. In the middle of it, it's the Jedi Academy.
Coruscant.
With the Senate.
is Rome. With the Senate and the Vatican right in the middle of it. Coruscant's Rome. Keep up. Come on.
Yeah, definitely.
You can absolutely school me on Star Wars knowledge, and I'm willing to be schooled. The problem is you gotta come correct.
You gotta come correct.
You just gotta be better
and
than
repeatedly. Ayo.
Yeah. That's fine. That's not the part I'm offended by. Yeah, you. I've been doing that one a lot at home now. I'll say something like, I'll be like, I'll be like, hey, kiddo, I need your phone. Time to go to bed. And then I go, like it's a duel. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Ah, shit, man. All right, look, it's 10. It's 11:19. We did it. We did our hour. We crushed it.
We
We
did
did the thing.
it.
We did it. Yay.
We killed it. Don't die, America.
Don't die, America.
Wah,
We're not the boss of you.